Good morning, everybody. Happy day before Thanksgiving. I'm in the kitchen working on this Thanksgiving dinner. As I told you, I've got tons of food to cook because you know how my folk eat, and then we have tons of company also. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to get my stuffing started, even though I have not put my turkey in the oven yet because this is Wednesday morning. Um, so I'm not going to put that turkey in until tonight. I'll do it tonight, and it'll be the last thing I take out of my oven tomorrow morning. So to get ahead to make the stuffing, I went ahead and bought me some turkey necks, and I'm gonna go ahead and cook those turkey necks up and get them ready so that I'll have the broth for my stuffing. So I decided I'm not gonna wait till in the morning. Sometimes I used to do that, but because I don't want to be all tired out and get my back going, so I wash these turkey necks up, put them in that water. There's some onion, bell pepper, and celery going there in that pot. So they're going to get the same ingredients that my turkey is going to get. So I'm going to season that water up real good so that when I do make that stuffing, it'll have that great flavor to it. So this is one of the do ahead. So this is Wednesday. So I'm doing my stuffing on Wednesday. So what I'm gonna do, I've got my cornbread already made up. I'm gonna put it in the oven here in a few minutes. I'm gonna put well, because I'm making so much, um, I don't guess I need to give you any measurements because I'm making um, stuffing for 25 people. So I have, of course, I have to use lots and lots of ingredients. So that was some salt that went in there, but just to give you an idea of what goes on in my kitchen when I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving. Um, and for Christmas, I have to cook these gigantic meals. So this is this little pot here holds a gallon of broth. Will hold gallon of broth once all this stuff cooks down. And of course, I've got some canned chicken broth in case I need a little bit more. I always keep some of that on hand. So this is one of those do ahead things that you can go ahead and cook. And I'm gonna, by the way, too, I'm gonna put a stick of butter in there so it'll be nice and buttery and real good tasting. Of course, my poultry seasoning and my sage and all those ingredients will go into this broth. This is some poultry seasoning by who else? Food Line. I'm telling you, Food Line, they got it going on. So I'm just gonna probably put about a good teaspoon of poultry seasoning into that water, so that when I cook my stuffing, all that flavor is gonna go through that stuffing. So it's gonna take about a good couple hours to get this all cooked down and ready for me to use. I can put some more water into that pot. I didn't want to do it all at once. So this is my chicken necks, turkey necks rather, and bell pepper, onion, and celery. So if you want to get your stuffing started today and not wait on that turkey tomorrow, because it's gonna that broth, you can make it taste just the same. So the broth that comes off the turkey tomorrow, all that'll be used for gravy for the rice and for the stuffing. Because again, I tell you, my people like lots of everything, so I can't never make too much gravy. So what I'm gonna do, like I say, is just go ahead and get this going. Use my tea kettle here to pour some more water in there. Waste some on the stove. I'm gonna fill it all the way up, all the way up. Just use all that water out there. So I'll leave it a little cooking room in there. So I'm gonna cover this up and let it get started to boil. When it starts boiling, I'll back that heat off some. But for the time being, that's what I'm up to right now this morning, is to get that stuffing made. And what I'm gonna do once I get it made up, right here, I'm gonna be making 2 pans full like this. This is the long pans. This is the half size, so I make 2 of them. They're easy for me to store in my refrigerator. So what I've done is went ahead and made a pan of cornbread. Now this size pan of bread, when I get all of everything mixed in, because I put all these other things, I'll show you when I get it done, I'll be able to get 2 pans of stuffing, because this cornmeal, this is self-rising cornmeal, so it's going to rise. So it's going to yield 2 pans of stuffing when I get all the ingredients in. I've already pre-chopped bell pepper, celery, and onions because I made salsa the other day. This is the same ingredients I put in my salsa. So while I was making salsa, I got smart. I thought, let me chop up my veggies for my stuffing. So those veggies are for the stuffing. And I'm also going to put some of this dry chicken flavored seasoning in there. Um, and that's basically it. But that's how I'm staying ahead of the game, y'all. I'm trying not to work myself down too much because I got a big menu to cook from. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the stuffing, and that's one of my do-aheads. So when it comes out of the oven, I will show you what it looks like. So toodaloo for a few minutes. Okay, y'all, I am back. The turkey necks rather, have finished cooking. The cornbread is done. You see that end off there? I had to have a piece of that hot cornbread with syrup. That's my ritual. Anyway, back to the stuffing. Okay, so what I've got in here, I had some corn muffins laying around in the freezer, took those out. Any extra cornbread I have, I always know I'm going to have some in the freezer, so I had about 3 or 4 corn muffins in there, so I'll throw those in. And I've got some bread, and I've got some rolls that this is bread that I've not used, just had laying around. So what I'm going to do now is just take this cornbread and start breaking it up in the pan. You see why I say I'm going to have 2 pans by the time I finish? And just throw it in there. No special order, just break it up, put it in there. Okay, so it's all the cornbread in there. And I've also got some, guess what? Cornbread stuffing mix. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to try it this year. Simply because it's Food Lion. So this is our stuffing mix. We're going to put all that in there. Imagine all this flavor together. Wow, it smells good already. It's not even started baking yet. Just putting all those ingredients together. And of course, you know, I've got my veggies that I already got ground up. And I've got to get over there on the stove and get the broth that came off the chicken necks. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I poured that turkey broth over that bread, all the bread mixture. Got that stick of butter sitting in there. And all I'm going to do from this point here is just get this all mixed up. All these ingredients have got to be a real thick, come to a real thick consistency. And remember I told you, even though I had a gallon of broth to go in there, I also have on standby a can of the chicken broth right out of the can. So I know I'm going to need that. I always have that standing by. Okay. That should probably do it. And plus I'm going to put a couple eggs in there. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. And I'll come back and let you see what it should look like, what your stuffing mix should look like. I like mine. It's going to look like glorified cornbread when it gets through mixing up, because it's going to be a big, thick paste. And can you imagine what that's going to taste like when it gets done cooking? So in here, this is enough cornbread stuffing for 20 to 25 people. Like I said, I made this big pan of cornbread out of, you know, one of these half size of the large baking pans. I'm not sure what I think it's probably 15 by 10, and it's 3.5 inches deep. So that's how much cornbread I made. If you want to make cornbread stuffing for 25 people, that's about how much cornbread you're going to need. And then when you get all your ingredients mixed in there, and then I had 8 slices of white bread that I put in there, and I had 4 dinner rolls that I had left over, and had 3 additional corn muffins. So that's going to be a big old pan of stuffing. And one thing about stuffing, it freezes very well. So by chance, if you have any leftovers, you freeze them. I've had free stuffing that I had from last Thanksgiving. I just looked at a chunk that I had the other day. So let me go ahead and mix this up, and I'll show you what it's going to look like before I put it in the oven. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm getting ready to do the final mix on this stuffing. And for those of you who really get into your cooking, invest in some cooking gloves, please, because you got to get your hands in there. Because I use the white bread, it gets clumped and thick, so I have to get in there. This is how my mama. This is Ella Roberts's, which is my mom. God rest her soul. She taught me how to do this, so I'm making it Ella Roberts style. So this is the way I do my stuffing. So I have to get in there because I want the consistency of that stuffing to be real nice and smooth. So when it comes out of the oven, it's yummy, yummy. Okay, y'all, as I was saying before, invest in some cooking gloves so that you can use them when you're doing your stuffing or anything else that requires you to just get in there to know everything is whipped up real fine without putting it in a blender, because this is not something I would put in a blender. So, got that stuffing ready to go. I'm going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to bake it first thing in the morning so we'll have fresh baked stuffing. Next, I'm going to move on over into doing my macaroni and cheese. So, hold on. Okay, here we go, y'all. We're going to do some mac and cheese. I've done this video on mac and cheese before. However, this is going to be basically exactly how my mom cooked her macaroni and cheese. So this is 2 pounds of cheese. I just got it poured out here in the pan so I can mix it because I've got like 4 different cheeses: cheddar, Colby Jack, and Monterey Jack, cheddar, and Colby all mixed together. And right here, this is going to be my little twist on it. I'm sure my mom will give me permission to add something to her recipe, which she did when I was a little girl at 7 years old. She used to let me help her make the caramel for the caramel cake. Okay, so I've mixed here some breadcrumbs and some complete seasoning, some garlic, and some of this cheese mixture. So I'm going to be putting some of this on top of that macaroni and cheese when I get ready to bake it. So I've got my macaroni noodles already boiling, and I'm getting ready now to make the cheese sauce. The cheese sauce is probably the most time-consuming thing to do, and one of the things that is my mom's is there's the butter melting in the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and pour 8 cups of milk in there. Okay, that's gonna be for the cheese sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back, and we're going to just go over here, and I'm just going to talk just a little bit. It's going to take a little bit for this milk to heat because I'm going to have to put it on low heat. You cannot heat this milk on high heat. You cannot do it. If you do, you're going to have a curdled up hot mess. So we have to let it gradually get warm. And as it starts to get warm, I'll start putting the cheese in there. And it'll start to melt, and pretty soon we'll have a cheese sauce to pour into that macaroni. This is a real simple dish to make. It's a lot of it. Again, I'm making food for anywhere from 15 to 25 people, but at a time like this, I always cook enough for 25, so I'm sure to have enough. So this is going to be my mama's macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving. So y'all hang in there, and I'll be right back. Okay, got those noodles out and draining. Remember, when you cook those noodles al dente, then cool them down so they'll stop cooking because you're going to put them back in the oven. So they're ready. Got half of my cheese most of my cheese into the sauce. I'm adding it gradually. That's old turkey lurkey right there. All right, got the cheese sauce. All the ingredients are in the pan right now. And I'm just slowly, I turn the heat up a little bit so it'll start to get hotter. But you have to be very, very careful. Now, you can't have that heat really, really high because you don't want anything burning. You don't want anything scorched. So I've got it now on 7. I'm going to up it up a little bit. But you have to stay here. You cannot leave this cheese sauce. You cannot leave it. Trust me, you can't leave it. So I'm just going to let it continue to do what it's doing. And I'll be back shortly. Okay, there it is. A pan full of cheese sauce for the mac and cheese. So, see that? Kind of a slow process. It takes about 30 minutes to get it to there. All I did was melted the butter in the pan. I poured the milk in, let it start to heat up. I put the cheese in. Then I put the seasoning. I put complete seasoning in there. I put my dry chicken broth seasoning, some salt, some pepper in there. And then I had to put Argo starch to help thicken it, to make that sauce. That's the other thing that my mother used, was Argo starch, so that's her thing. And of course, the complete seasoning is something I just learned about. So she didn't mind if I added a little bit in. So now that cheese sauce is nice and creamy and thick and ready to pour into the noodles, and that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. So hold on. Okay, y'all. Got the cheese sauce into the noodles. Still got some left over. This pan is just about to its capacity. So what I'm going to do is start layering it into the pan. And then I'll start blending the cheese in between. So hold on. Okay, y'all. First layer. Got the macaroni and cheese on the bottom, cheese on top. And I'm getting ready to go in with my second layer. That pan is too heavy for me to just pick up. So I'm just going to, this is just as simple. This is, I just want to let y'all see how nice and creamy that macaroni is. Plenty of sauce on it. Plenty of sauce on it. So just make sure you get it in there. And then there's enough for the second pan. So I'm, like I said, I'm having 2 pans of macaroni and cheese and 2 pans of the stuffing. So this will be plenty for up to 25 people. Okay, so got that one.